Legend, what is up? Hope we're good. Welcome back to a new video, and this is a little bit different compared to the videos you've seen me do previously, but yeah, today I'm going to be interviewing a good friend of mine, housemate at the moment, business partner, and all-round tanned, handsome, good-looking gent. So like how, I suppose, the best thing to go is like, how did I meet Greg and how do I know him, I suppose. Like over the last, I think it's maybe over the last maybe 6-7 months is when we kind of first met through our mentorship. Like we were in the same mentorship program, we both worked at Phil Graham, and something that he really pushes, like, you know, is practicing the different things we do within our businesses. So something that we do in our business is like consultation calls. So like we were actually practicing together so that we could kind of get the most out of each consultation call we do with clients. And that's kind of how we started meeting each other. We actually started doing Zoom calls, practicing consultation calls, and from there then we started kind of getting closer and closer. We were kind of helping each other out in other areas of business, giving advice, giving value, and yeah, just kind of became buddies from that. And that was kind of back in, we'll say, July of last year, so July of 2022. And I suppose it was at the end of 2022, kind of December time, Greg had asked me to kind of jump on board and help him out within his business. So his business was The Empowered Man, whereas I was kind of doing my own James Crowley Fitness. So he asked me to come in and help him out with a couple of things, like doing some consultation calls within his business, because he's seen that I was kind of good at them, and he thought I'd bring some value to his business. And I suppose March, April of this year, now 2023, we actually decided to partner up and come together. So I've actually joined up with The Empowered Man, so with Greg, with Gaz, and there's 3 of us now driving forward The Empowered Man, building the biggest fitness community for men who want to get into the best shape of their lives and just look and feel incredible. So yeah, that's how I met Greg. I suppose what we'll do now is going to introduce Greg. So Greg, thanks very much for being here.
Welcome. It's been a journey for you. It's been really good.
Absolutely.
To see you grow, not just in terms of in business, but also personally as well. And you know, we've become good friends over that process, and now we're living together, which is, who would have thought that, you know, when we first started talking, in July last year?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's been awesome to see that journey and just become friends, now business partners. Absolutely,
yeah. And like, as you said, like back in July, like who would have thought we'd be sitting here? We're actually in Mexico right now, currently in this kind of surreal, like, co-working space. Like who would have thought we'd be sitting here right now? Like, but yeah, I suppose, like, to get straight into it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Greg, like the main aim of this is just to kind of learn more about you and to grill you, I suppose, as you say, yeah, and to, yeah, just to kind of help, I suppose, yeah, get as much value from you so we can provide it to our audience, like.
Absolutely, yeah.
I suppose, like, what do we need to understand about you? What do we need to know about you to understand who you are and, yeah, the type of person that you are right now?
I'm tanned.
Yeah, as you can see, whitest man in Tulum, like, this is just not a good comparison to have.
The whitest man in Tulum, and I'm moderate. Really good question. So what do they need to know about me to understand me better? I suppose we can start with a bit of my backstory. Always been into health and fitness, from playing football when I was at school, you know, as we all do, and then got into, you know, other things like running and stuff. Got into the gym when I was 17 because it was my first job.
17, okay.
Yeah, so it was, yeah, so it was basically like I got a job at a leisure centre as a lifeguard. There's a gym there. There was other guys that were in shape who I worked with, so they were my inspiration at that time.
So were they older guys as well?
Yeah, so they were older guys. Yeah, they were older guys that I worked with, and I was thinking, I want to look like that.
Yeah.
And they were kind of in the shape that I'm in now. So they were my inspiration in the early days. Naturally got training. Like anything that I do, I always put my all into it. I want to achieve the most that I can. And so started reading, started researching, started different training plans, different workouts and all this stuff.
As we all do, don't we?
Yeah, so we all want to better ourselves, yeah. And then the goal at the time when I was young was just go on holiday each year looking, you know, better than my mates, in the best shape I could be in.
It's really interesting. I don't mean to like overpower you there, but like what you said is like you want to go on holidays in better shape than your mates, and just you want to be the guy that looks the best because you want to be the guy who just show off and look at me on the man. I think it's the same for all guys when they're kind of like 17, 18, 19. They kind of want to be that guy. And
100%. And I think, you know, when you're training and you're young, the only kind of tangible goal really is your holidays.
Yeah.
Because
true.
I mean, in the UK, you're not really taking your top off that much.
That's it.
Right. So
compared to here in Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. Got it. We
every day.
We don't wear a top here, do we? We've actually put one on today.
This is mandatory to wear tops in here, like, so.
Yeah. So that was basically the thing. Yeah, the goal was always get in shape for holiday, and then it just built from there, and
nice.
I just got the love for it, and then started teaching classes, got a job in the gym, and then in 2015 I lost my job. The company I was working for was struggling, got laid off.
Oh right, okay.
And then that was a kind of a massive turning point where I thought, right, I've got nothing to lose. I just posted on social media, anyone need help with the training, nutrition, I want to train people basically. And you know, people started messaging me saying, I want help, I want you to train me. And it just spiraled from there. So yeah, I look back now at that time and I'm so grateful I actually lost my job, because it turned out to be the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
That's so interesting. The way you say like something that really bad happened in your life, a lot of people will think like, oh, it's the end of the world, but like usually like that's usually the case. Like the worst things that happen to you are usually the best things that happen to you, because they force you to go in another direction, or they force you to go down another path. And it's really interesting as well. Like your backstory there, it's actually very similar to kind of mine. How I started off. Like I started off working in my local gym. I think I was probably like 15, 16, maybe 16, 17, working in my local gym. Then started doing classes, built up that way.
Yeah.
And then it just came to a stage where COVID came. That was kind of like you lost a job because you were laid off because the business was struggling. But I kind of like was kind of forced in another direction because of COVID and because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so there is kind of similarities, which is very interesting. Like, and it's
so true. And I think it's just the nature of people like me and you who are very driven and very motivated, that regardless of what's going to happen, whether it's a challenge, whether something bad happens, as you just said, we've got the mentality to make the best out of that situation, like we both did.
Absolutely.
And if I look back at most of the things in my life that have happened that have been bad, have actually turned out to be massively beneficial, because I've made it happen that way.
Absolutely. And what are, like, so I suppose losing your job was one of those things. What's another one or two of those things, bad things that have happened in your life, per se, and what has happened as a result of them?
Yeah, the first one was basically when I went to university when I was 17 or 18. Went in really good shape, feeling just really good, confident. And then I had a panic attack in my second year. It really affected me mentally. My confidence then suffered. I didn't go to the gym for 18 months. I started eating shit food. Got in bad habits. And it just spiraled from there, and I lost my confidence. I lost my sense of worth.
Almost that identity, or like you felt like you were
100%, yeah. I
a different person.
Lost my identity, lost who I was and who I knew I could be.
Yeah.
And I dropped out of university because I needed to get my head sorted, I needed to get back on track. And that's really gave me that drive to always work on my physical and mental health. So I will always go to the gym because I feel good, and it keeps me in a great place mentally. And then I can know I'm going to be consistent in my identity and the way I feel for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's powerful, and I love the way like you using health and fitness as a foundation, and like I think every guy should be using health and fitness as a foundation. Like if you're not in good shape, if you're not feeling great, then it's going to affect all other areas of your life. Like with you, like when you felt when you left uni, like you're kind of in a tough situation. Like but once you got your health and fitness back in order, you're able to build up your business.
Yeah.
Open a couple of gyms and then start building that online business, and like everything started to get better from there.
100%.
And it all comes down to that, having that foundation of just being in great shape, feeling great, and it's also the discipline, the work ethic, the delayed gratification that comes with being in great shape and working hard and having all those things.
Yeah, it's 100% true. Sorry to interrupt. If you feel good in yourself because of how you look, that impacts everything in terms of your confidence. So then you show up differently in life, both sociably around your friends or family, or whether it's around your partner or your kids, you're happier, more relaxed. And then with business, if you're in a good headspace and you've got energy and you feel confident, you're going to take more action.
Absolutely.
You're going to be more successful and you're going to achieve more. That's a fact.
Absolute fact, yeah. So suppose we got like college or the uni, then losing a job. What are another couple of like challenges, we'll say roadblocks you've faced over the last while?
Yeah, COVID.
I think
for all of us, COVID was a big challenge for me in terms of I literally built up my first fitness company over 6 years.
6 years, wow.
And we built it up by doing fitness classes at schools and fields and stuff. 2020, I opened up a brand new gym, spent about £40,000 renovating it all and getting it sorted. We opened in Jan 2020.
Oh yes, perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Then we shut for lockdown in March 2020. So like we were open like 3 months. So we opened, then we shut, then we opened, then we shut for the lockdowns. And then when I reopened it then by 2021, I would say by summer 2021, it was really affected in terms of like loads of people were scared to come back. People have been affected financially. Some people just be out of the routine. You know what it's like, people get out of the routine and then it's struggle to get back in one.
That's it, yeah, it's very, very common.
So our members base had come down a lot, which meant it just wasn't financially viable. So therefore I'd, spent all this money, renovated this gym, and then find myself a year later closing it.
Yeah.
So then what I did was I pivoted at that point and then we moved online. And a few months later, that was when the Empowered Man program was initially first come together. Yeah. And now we've got an online program. I'm in Mexico, which I never thought would be. If you'd asked me in 2020 when I just opened my gym, you're going to be living in Mexico with an online company, I would have said you're absolutely crazy. But as we said, things happen, you pivot, you make the best of that situation, you keep working hard, and you make shit happen.
That's so true. And something that even as somebody that's noticed there as well is like you say, you've always pivoted in times of crisis. I think it's the same in the world. Like the world always kind of pivots in times of crisis, and I suppose like you could nearly say like we're kind of coming into a crisis with what's kind of going on in the world and all this. So now it was like almost like a perfect time to kind of pivot as well. So I suppose just kind of going back to, you said you started the Empowered Man. I suppose like let's kind of go back to the start of that and how did it all come about? What were the steps in kind of building that? Because I know obviously you and Gaz, started and built this from the ground up.
Yeah, really good question. So basically what happened was Gaz had already started an online program, and I knew Gaz because we had a mentor together prior to that. And we both had gyms.
Chris Brown, wasn't it?
Chris Brown, yeah. So we both worked with Chris Brown, helped us open gyms, and then I shut my gym. Gaz still had one, but he started an online program.
Yes.
I was about to start an online program, so I met up with Gaz to ask him his advice, what was going well, what mistakes not to make, to help me. And then on the way home from meeting Gaz, I was thinking to myself, why are we both trying to start brand new online programs and do it on our own when we're wanting to work with the exact same guys? It makes so much sense to pull our resources, our strengths together.
Yeah.
Him do what he enjoys and what he's strong at, me do what I enjoy and what I'm strong at, join together and achieve so much more. So that's what we did. I rang Gaz, told him my idea, and he was in, he was sold.
And shook hands over the phone.
yeah, that was it. And then we moved forward from there, and here we are now, and then we're on the team as well.
That's it, man. Yeah, so it's been April, May, June, July. Yeah, it was supposed to nearly 2 months, almost 3 months now we've been kind of on the team.
Yeah.
And I suppose, so that was a very interesting way of just starting. Like you wouldn't kind of expect that's kind of how it would start. It's like two guys came together, it's like, look, this is just the smartest option, and let's go with it, like. And I suppose, like, me being involved now, like I know, like we have big goals and everything for this business. And I suppose, in your own words now, like, where are we now, and where do you plan to be now in the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months?
100%. So where we are now, we're obviously building, getting we've got a great core group of guys. And the WhatsApp group's always popping with messages and wins and achievements and stuff.
You guys always coming in, and it just brings extra
feeling energy. That energy.
People are getting incredible results, like, and
it's infectious. People come in, new guys, see the results, see the wins, and see the standard that we've obviously got, and that inspires them and holds them accountable to do the same. So now obviously in a building phase, growing, and where we want to be in 6 to 12 months, events, meetups, maybe Mexico,
that's it.
Spain, Europe, and just getting the guys together. So I mean, it's obviously they're going to get results, and they are getting results, but it's bringing everyone together, having a great community and having a great time as well. That's really where I see it being in the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, and like that's what really excites me as well, is because like I've hosted an event with Michael Lyons before I teamed up with you guys as the Empowered Man, and I found that having a community, bringing people together, was so powerful. While like all my guys were getting great results, but I just think bringing them together just was extra powerful. And I think as well, like, again, like it comes down to the way the world is going, like people are kind of getting more and more separated, more and more isolated with like social media, all these things, and that's why it means a lot to me, you know, hosting these events, bringing guys together, because there's a lot of guys like ourselves can be very isolated from, we'll say, the other people similar to us, and that's why we're building a community of like-minded guys. It's not just random guys, it's like all guys who are kind of on the same mission. They want to get into they want to be in the best shape of their lives, they want to be ripped, they want to be surrounded by other guys who are on the same trajectory as them and have the same goals, same values, same beliefs. And that's why having this community is so powerful. Like, and the more we can grow it, it'll almost come to, I think a word we kind of spoke about, like brotherhood. It's almost kind of like that kind of brotherhood, that community of guys. And bringing them together so they can connect, chat with other people, because even with us working with Phil Graham, the most powerful thing from working with Phil Graham is actually his events, and going to the events and being surrounded by people, and you're like chatting to new people, getting new ideas, getting new inspo and everything, like. And I suppose, like, having those, what's like the most meaningful part of that for you? Like, what is the most exciting part?
I think, like you just said, it's just getting everyone together.
Yeah.
It's that energy of people coming together. It's seeing clients that have started and they were out of shape, feeling sometimes the worst shape of their life, feeling terrible.
Absolutely.
And then we all come together, there's smash an event, smash a workout, we're all there together, and it's just seeing that the progress that they've made, the work that they've put in, and what they've achieved from that.
Yeah.
And it's just great to see that, it really is. And it's rewarding for me, and I just like to see how happy they are as well, achieving that. I suppose that's something I love about the in-person events, definitely.
Definitely, like we mentioned about the WhatsApp group, like we have a very, very powerful WhatsApp accountability group. Like guys are sharing in their wins, sharing in their targets, ticking things off, and you can see there's a lot of inspiring guys in there. Like there's a lot, like I get messages from clients and they're saying, "Geez, man, I love the group. It's really, really good, keeping me accountable, and there's such good energy, and it kind of gives them that inspiration to keep driving forward." And something as well from the events is like, Johnny, you see all these guys posting in the group, but like it's almost just like it's just using your phone. But like when you actually come to the events, you're like, "Oh my god, that's great! That was posting in the group." Do you know what I mean? Like following conversation, you chat with them about different things, and you just actually get to see the people in person. Like, you know, like while our program is all fully online, we have no in-person like sessions. We don't do in-person training sessions because we want guys to have the bit of independence and be able to build those habits themselves. And that's why having these groups or these like, events would be so powerful, because guys will come together and be like, Jesus, you know, connect and
100%.
Not just see them in the WhatsApp group, but also see them in person and be friends with them in real life as well. Like, and that's why we are different compared to every other fitness program that's out there. Like, you see a lot of fitness programs are like just another diet and training plan, but like it's not about another diet and training plan. It's all about building that lifestyle, building those habits, and most importantly, in the last kind of step is building that identity, so you can be in great shape like us year round, feel good year round, and just have the habits and have the lifestyle. Like, and I suppose like something I know I kind of want to ask you as well is like so I suppose like my main mission, my main aim with my content is to help thousands of guys in their 20s get into the best shape of their lives, feel great. Then obviously when they come into the program, we want to get them into work with them personally, get them into the best shape of their lives. And I suppose like if you were to, because you're a guy now, like you're 32, so you've been through your 20s, you've had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of mistakes, a lot of lessons, a lot of growth as well, which is incredible. So I suppose like for all those guys in kind of their late 20s watching this now, what are a couple of pointers and a couple of things that they have to kind of focus on big time in order to be where you are right now in their early 30s?
I would say if I could go back to my 20s, one of the biggest things would be to get a coach. And I'm not saying that just to try and sell something, I'm being honest. I got my first coach when I was probably 26 or 27, and the speed at which I made progress was so fast, and I learned things that I still know to this day that have kept me in amazing shape. If I'd have just done that when I was 21, I would have achieved my results, I would have achieved my goals so much faster, and I would have saved out on making so many mistakes and wasting so much time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's really big in terms of getting a coach. I would also say nailing down nutrition. For me, there was a big difference between eating healthy and then between eating healthy then eating to get in the best shape of your life.
Yeah.
So I would eat healthy, but I wasn't eating enough calories, and I also wasn't eating enough protein. And those two things really held me back.
Yeah.
Simple, quick fix. So I'd say to guys in the 20s, make sure your nutrition's on point. If you, like me, you're going and training and working hard, but your nutrition's not on point, you're not going to achieve the results that you want.
Yeah.
So that's another one. And the third thing I would just say, if you can surround yourself with accountability, people at a higher standard, that is naturally going to pull you up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I got a coach, I started surrounding myself with other guys that were training harder, training more effective, and also in better shape. So that then triggered me to look at them and think, right, I want to look like that. No, what are they doing that I need to do?
Yeah.
So that increased my standard. I started working better, more effectively, harder, and naturally my results reflected that. So that would be the third one, to literally surround yourself with people at a higher standard and level.
Yeah, I know those are super powerful things to be focusing on, and like there are things I try and promote to guys as well, is just to focus on those. Do you know what I mean? Like I suppose having a coach is so valuable, and like I had my first coach when I was 18 or 19. I got my first coach, and I actually did a photo shoot at the end of my time with him because I got into such great shape so quickly. I think over 6 months, like I got absolutely shredded. Like I actually documented the full thing on my YouTube, and that's it. It's just the rate of results, speed of results. Like I'd been training for maybe 2 or 3 years, 4 years, and maybe before that, I hadn't seen great results. But like with 6 months, I'd seen so much better results than I had for 3 years. And that's just the power of having a coach, following through, trusting in the process, and trusting that coach as well. Like you don't just hire a coach because he's a good coach to go for. You want to go with a coach, someone you trust, someone you like, and someone you're willing to put in the work for. Because I've had a coach before. This was more a business coach, but you can still have similarities to, let's say, your health and fitness. But like he was a guy that I just kind of signed up kind of on the spur of the moment. Didn't really know much about him. Didn't really believe in his like values and stuff, and I just kind of signed up because I thought it was like I needed to do it. It turns out, didn't really get on well with him. We didn't really click. Where what he wanted me to do was kind of different to what I wanted to do, and it was just there was very different values. And I think that's why it's important to go with someone you trust, someone you like, and someone who you actually believe in, because you're going to work so much better with them. Like,
yeah.
That's why as well in our program, like we always do a consultation call, like, and that's at the start of our program to make sure that the guys we work with, they're actually guys that we can actually help, and they actually like us and we like them, and we can actually build that kind of relationship. Like the relationship starts once we actually jump on that first call, and that first call is all about us getting to know our challenges, what they want to achieve, and essentially how we're going to get them into the best shape of their lives. Like, and I suppose like we do turn guys away because the guys we work with, like there's only a certain we'll say threshold of guys that we work with, and if you don't kind of fit into those categories, like we just say like, look, we're not the best coaches for you, and kind of send you elsewhere. It's true. Because like we believe in helping. Like we know that our skills are best suited for a certain type of guys, and that's why we always going to have a consultation call. Yeah,
it's true. Two things on basically what you just said. We work with guys that are willing to do the work, that are already hard working, that are motivated guys, committed and dedicated, and we work with businessmen. There is no way you can be successful in business and not have those traits. So basically we know that we work with businessmen and we know they've got those traits. What they're lacking is the right plan, an effective plan. We give them that, we give them accountability so they work there even harder and they get results.
Yeah.
It's simple. And then the second thing I wanted to say is that when I first got a coach, and that's why I respect you so much, because you got a coach so early, so young, switched on. When I look at getting a coach now, after having many coaches in my life and spending probably about £80,000 in the past decade on coaches, is that, are they where I want to be? Yes. If I work with that coach, will I get to where I want to be faster? Yes. Will I make mistakes with that coach, or more on my own? I'll make more mistakes on my own.
Yeah, there you go.
Will I waste time if I'm doing it on my own? Yes. Okay, so it makes complete sense to work with a coach, get to where I want to be, guaranteed, and get there faster.
Yeah.
It's literally a no-brainer.
Same for all our guys, like they're having that clear plan and knowing exactly what they have to focus on. like what workouts they have to do, what exercises, what sets, what reps, what foods to be eating, what foods to be staying away from, and like it's all laid out in front of them there, having their calories, having their protein. And like a lot of guys, they're confused or overwhelmed. Like I think back to like before I had my first coach, like where was I and how was I feeling, and I was just trying all the different diet plans, trying all the different training plans. But these are the surface level solutions. Like if we don't actually get to the root cause and like, you know, build good habits, build a good lifestyle, and kind of build that identity, we're just going to be constantly going back and forth with different training, different diet plans, and that's why I am so happy that I got that coach so quickly, and I still use coaches to this day. It's because I'm not kind of flying around trying different training plans, trying different diet plans. That essentially like they're not going to work, because for me, like I've tried different diet plans, I've tried supplements like weight loss pills and all these things, and like they don't work. Like they might work for a couple of weeks, like, but if you've got shit standards, shit habits, poor sleep hygiene, all these things, poor lifestyle, then it's just like pissing against the wind. Like, and so I suppose having a clear plan, and also that accountability is so powerful for our clients. You know, we mentioned a WhatsApp group. So one, having a clear plan, having accountability, having someone there who's going to be checking in with you, having someone that's going to want the best for you. Because all of our clients, like I want to, like everyone that I meet out, I want to see people win, because I know how good being, you know, winning is, getting into better shape, and just achieving things is such a good feeling, such a powerful feeling, and I want every guy to feel the same, and because I think guys, like, we feel the best when we're kind of working towards something and have that purpose, and we're kind of on that mission and achieving things. So that's why I want guys to always be winning and always be successful, like, and you know, that's why having accountability, having those people behind you that are going to push you forward is so powerful. And that's essentially how our program works, isn't it? It's like having that clear plan. Like you know exactly, super focused on what you need to do. You just get up in the morning, tick it off, and guys are excited. Like they wake up in the morning, they see their habits, they see their workouts. They're like, oh yes, going to get my session today. These are my targets for today, and they just tick them off. And once they tick them off, they get results. Simple as that. Yeah,
here's the thing. So what guys happen is they get off track, and then, you know, when they're coming to wanting to lose the weight and get back in shape, they're in a rut, and it's a case of, right, what's the best thing to do? What's the most effective thing I can do? And often they've tried things and haven't worked that effectively. So it's overwhelming for them at the start, like you've just said. What's the best thing to do? Will this work? Am I going to waste my time? And that can actually hold them back from actually going all in.
Yeah, exactly.
So when guys join our program and guys have a clear plan, right, do this, do this, do this, it's exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they know exactly what to do, and they know by doing that plan they're going to get the result, and that means they take loads of action, they do the work, and then ultimately they get result fast.
Yeah, fast. That's it. Like, and there's some guys they'll be so blown away by the results they get. Like they'll be with us for 3 months, be like, fuck me, I'd never even thought I could actually achieve anything like this. And that's why it's so good. You wake up in the morning, check the WhatsApp group, check in with the clients, jump on calls with them, and they're like absolutely killing it. Like, and that's just the power of accountability, having a clear plan, having a community around you. Yeah,
like you said, it's a great feeling to see people win. And I think once you've experienced winning yourself, and you've got in great shape, and you've felt really good, and then you've maintained that, you know how powerful that is for both you personally and professionally.
Yeah.
So when you see other guys doing the same, like our clients, for example, you're wanting them to succeed so much, because you know the feeling they're going to have, and the impact that's going to have on their life personally and professionally.
Absolutely. And like that's why, Joe, like on consultation calls, on client calls, like there's times like I'll be more excited, like on the call, I'll be just so buzzing for the client, and they'll see that and they'll feel the energy. They'll be like, holy shit, this guy believes in me, and I do believe in them, because it's like I can see what they can achieve, like with their mindset, with their work ethic, because like they're working so hard in the gym already, they're training hard, they're trying different things. So like I know once they join our program, like I know that they're going to be in absolutely incredible shape, and I get excited because like Gaz is the head coach. He does most of the coaching, and like, do you know what I mean? I know that like the coaching systems and the coaching program that we have is the best in the world. Like we get world-class results, and there's that term like results speak for themselves, and that's clearly what our results do, is they speak for themselves. And like that's why I get so excited on calls, chatting with guys, because I know damn well what they can achieve.
Yeah, I'm the same on calls when guys are going to join the program. I'm so excited knowing what they can achieve, and it's easy for me to say, look, you can drop 20 or 30 pounds in the next 3 or 4 months. We can get you abs. we can get you looking athletic, in the best shape of your life. And they can kind of think, oh, I hope that happens. But we know it can happen, because we've seen it time and time again. And just knowing that someone's got the work ethic, the determination, the drive, the dedication, all they're lacking is that plan. And our support just to make sure that they navigate to their goal. It's so exciting, it really is.
Yeah, that's it, and like that's why it's so powerful, and that's why we keep getting results all the time. And like there's a lot of people who be like, geez, how would you get such great results all the time? And I'm like, the guys we work with are absolutely driven, they're motivated, they're absolutely just, they want to get the results. And like as you said, then once we can kind of get the last piece of that puzzle, which is getting that clear plan, having that accountability and that support, that's just a guaranteed formula for results.
I say it all the time on enrolment calls, I say it on my social media. Any businessman that comes to us who's motivated, hardworking, dedicated and committed, they will get results in our program. Because that is the mentality that you need. And then from us, they get the plan, okay, it's nutrition and training, and they get the structure, and they also have accountability to make sure they navigate through challenges and get to the end result.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like that's, and I suppose like if there's people that want to know more about it, like the best way to contact us is through our social media. So it's like Greg Newlands on Instagram, James Crowley on my Instagram, like, and just shoot us a message if you want to know more about this. And I suppose kind of going back to you now again, I suppose, because this was kind of all about you. And I suppose like right now, like obviously we're in Mexico, you're in Mexico now, you've been in Mexico since January, but previous to that you've been kind of back and forth. So I suppose like right now in Mexico, like, you know, obviously things look great, Mexico's going well, but like even over the last 6-12 months, like what kind of challenges have been going on moving to Mexico, all these different things?
Yeah, the past 18 months, quite a few challenges. So we were in Mexico in 2021, and then 2022 I went home because my dad got diagnosed with cancer. So he went through that treatment for about 7 months. He's now got the green light, got the all clear.
Awesome.
He actually
That's
came out
incredible.
to Mexico just before you got here, which was amazing. So that was a challenge. Going from living in Mexico to living back in England was also a challenge, because you get accustomed to somewhere, and I love the lifestyle here, and then I'm back in England, especially over winter when it was cold and wet and raining. So that was a challenge. Moving locations as well was challenging, because you know it's like for business, you want to be set and feel grounded. So that was another challenge. And then recently, challenges relationship-wise as well, which has been taking up a lot of headspace. But we're kind of moving through that now, which is good. So various different challenges. But I just think in life, you either let your challenges take control and take over your life, or you define you, or you literally take action, do what you need to do, look for solutions, and keep moving forwards. It's which one do you want to do?
Absolutely.
One you're going to succeed, one you're not. It's a no-brainer.
That's so true, and like what you said there is super powerful, because like we're both big fans of Tate, and the message that he's putting out there, like we totally agree. I'm a big fan of him, and like something that's really powerful that I kind of take in, the philosophy that I take on is like, let's say your life is shit, it's fucked up, whatever, but like what is the best move on the chessboard? There's always a move on the chessboard that you can make. If you're familiar with chess, you'll know, like I'm a big fan of chess, I like playing chess. I would absolutely smoke him in chess as well if it came to it, because he don't play. But it's like, for me, when I'm in those moments, I'm like, okay, what is the best move in the chessboard? Because there always is a best move, even if you're in a shit situation, like, you know. So what you're saying there is like, you can either let what's going on define you and just pull you down, or you can be like, look, this is happening, but this is the best move. And I think all men they have to kind of just keep moving forward, like, do you know what I mean, and just work through those challenges. That's
the biggest learn I've had over the past 3 years of my life, from COVID to shutting the gym to starting online to all the other challenges that I've had. You just have to keep going. The world goes on. You just have to keep moving forward, keep working hard, get coaches, get support, surround yourself with good people, and make yourself succeed. It's all on you.
That's so powerful. That's all. It is like it is all on you, and like it comes back to like what's the best move to make, and like you can just do a bit of an evaluation. who are you hanging around, what are the people you're hanging around, what are they talking about. That's something I've realised big time over the last couple of years, is the people I've hung around with. I didn't know at the time, but like, were super negative or super toxic, and I didn't realise that it was having such an effect on the way I wanted to go in life and I suppose the path I was taking. And it wasn't like kind of got out of that, started hanging around with better quality people, I realised, man, I was in a place that was going to keep pulling me down. And like, even coming over here to Mexico now, I just want to kind of touch on something quickly. Like coming over to Mexico, hanging out with you, hanging out with Ryan Martin as well, as a great friend of Greg's, and I'm after becoming friendly with him now as well. And he's a health coach, really, really incredible guy, really smart, knows his stuff on the like the back of his hand. And I've been here like three and a half weeks, and like the health, I suppose, like the health tips and advice I've taken on from him, being surrounded by him, like the foods I'm eating, the foods I've stopped eating, and I suppose, yeah, they've had a big impact on my health, how I'm feeling and everything, you know. So that's just, even me just coming into this environment has leveled me up and leveled up my standards in terms of the quality of foods I eat and the foods I stay away from, like, you know. And it just goes back to that environment that you're in is just so powerful, like. And again, it's a very, very common thing that you see on the internet, is like, if you are the 5 people you hang around with, and like you and me are, do you know what I mean, we're proof in the pudding of like what I suppose that means, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you've been in situations, or you've been in environments that haven't been great, and now that you're in a better environment, surrounded by better people, do you know what I mean, your life is moving forward and building an incredible business in great shape year round, living an incredible lifestyle. Like, there's a lot of people that would love to be like you and love to be where you are, and like, that just comes down to the environments you've had.
So true. Literally, our environment will dictate our results in life.
Yeah.
Absolute fact.
Yeah, it's so true.
If you're surrounding yourself and listening to people who are healthy, fit, you know, succeeding in life, doing well in business, looking after themselves, you know, great people to the people around, that's going to have the biggest influence on you.
Yeah.
That's going to raise your standards and pull you up, because that's going to be the norm.
Yeah.
And in my life, when I started having coaches, putting myself around people that were at a high level to me, both in terms of how I looked and then business, my results just flew. And now it's a case of me always putting myself around people who are fit, healthy, succeeding, great people, you know, caring, kind, because I know that's going to, the impact it has on me, that keeps me at a level, and I'm not going to drop.
Yeah. And a question I pondered on before is like, how do I hang around with those people, and like, how do I find those people? And I all like, the first kind of things I started doing that helped me started hanging around more people was investing in coaches, investing in mentorships that these people hang around with. So like, you got to be willing to kind of pay to hang around with these people, and also, as well as this, you got to try your best to kind of become one of these people. Like, if you start eating well, if you start working hard, training hard, and building up your business, like, just people will start to see you and notice you, and kind of, you know, you'll be able to get in with them and chat with them more as well. And that's something I've noticed as well, as from building my business, signing up with Phil Graham, the mentorship. Like, I've met so many coaches that I'm now friends with in all over the world. England, there's people over, guys in Australia, here in Mexico. Like, there's people all over that I'm now friends with because I've invested in the mentorship. Like, I invested over, I think it was like over 15,000 in that mentorship over the space of 12 months. And do you know what I've learned from it, the people I've met, you know, do you know what I mean? There is, I suppose, like, you also look at people as well, you know, people that are like at a higher level to you, and like that are doing better than you in life. And like Phil Graham, something he mentioned as well, is that like what was their price of entry into where they are right now, and it's years of hard work, fucking, like, investing thousands in themselves, investing so much in themselves. Like we kind of want to be like that person, but we don't realize what they had to do to get there.
So true.
Which is really interesting. Like, and that's, I suppose, going back to the thing I said about how do you find those people. I suppose you got to do your best to try and become that person, and invest in things and places that those people are going to be at. And I suppose, like, what's your kind of take on that? Like, how would you, let's say someone wants to try and find better quality people, because the people are hanging around with are low quality people, they're drinking weekends, don't have any ambitions to improve their life and to be successful. What are your 2 cents there?
As you said, go and find those people. It's literally your results, your environment is on you. You have to go and surround yourself with the people that you want to be around. That's going to influence your life. So you've got, whether it's business, whether it's coaching, going to the places where these people are going to be.
Yeah.
If it's business, maybe getting a mentor, or going to co-working spots, or being around people that are doing it at a high level. Or if it's fitness, maybe going to a gym or making friends with people who are in great shape, and becoming friends with them. It's just a case of, you know, you have to take extreme ownership for your results in life, and that means surrounding yourself with the people you want to be around and literally doing the work.
Yeah.
So I would say that's the main two things you could do in that sense there.
That's great. Yeah. So like, I suppose on summary of both of our 2 cents there is like, how would you find those people? It's kind of you kind of got to ask yourself the question again. Okay, where are these people, and how do I get there, and how do I get around those kind of people? So instead of that's kind of the answer to that question. And even as on that, something I just want to say as well. Like usually, like you'll try and figure out, you want to learn new things, you want to. You want to move forward. You'll be like, you're trying to ask questions of how do I do that? How do I do this? You kind of like the best thing to kind of do is ask yourself higher quality questions. Like you say, like, oh, how do I get into better shape? And you kind of ask yourself, like, okay, what do I need to do to improve my diet? What do I need to do to improve my training? Like, what things do I? It's all about asking yourself better quality questions, and that's something that I think has massively changed my life. Anyways, just asking better quality questions.
Here's one really powerful thing a mentor said to me, probably 4 or 5 years ago. Said, never ask yourself, like, how do I get here? Like, how do I do it on my own? It's a case of asking, who could help me get there? Because when you ask, who could help me get there, you're then going to take that pressure off yourself.
Yeah.
And you're going to go and find someone, a coach, a mentor that's been there and done it.
Yeah.
That can literally give you the plan, and you do the work and follow that plan.
Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah. And like, I think is it Phil Graham says it again, or like I've kind of referenced him a lot, but like I've learned a lot from him. Like, and it's like, yeah, like you want to learn from people who have been there and done that, who've walked the walk, and achieved those things. Like, do you know what I mean? There's no point going to someone who says they can help you do this, but they have no track record of actually doing it themselves. And that's why I think it's super important. Like Tate says a lot as well, is like people go to business school to learn business, but like the lecturers that are teaching them don't even own businesses themselves. You know, so it's kind of like, if you want to learn something, if you want to do something, like for us, if you want to get into great shape, like we walk the walk, we talk the talk, like we live it and breathe it, like, you know, and that's why we're in such a great position to help people get into great shape as well. And I think it's all about just finding people who've been there and done that, because they have the life lessons, they have the experience, and they know exactly how to do it the quickest way possible. They've made the mistakes, learned from them.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit now that how many coaches are not in shape. They do a course, start posting on social media, start trying to get clients, and they don't even live the lifestyle they're preaching.
Yeah, exactly.
It's outrageous. For me, it's a case of practice what you preach, and only try and help people when you're actually doing what you're saying you're doing.
Exactly, yeah.
You've actually proved that you can do it yourself, and you can actually help other people. Something that really winds me up. And like you said there, when I look for coaches, it's a case of, right, so when I first got my first coach, it was a case of who is in the shape that I want to be in, who has clearly walked the walk. I messaged, started talking, and started working with them. And it was the same for business, right? Who has grown a fitness company, who has opened a gym. They clearly understand how to do it, and they can help me do it.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same now as when we help guys in our program. It's, we've got the results that you want.
Yeah.
We've walked that walk, and we've maintained those results year after year after year. If you literally follow the plan that we give you and do the work that I know you will get those results.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
That's absolutely solid. Like, and yeah, we keep veering back to the program and all, like, and but it is like our Empowered Man program, like it gets us super excited, like, because as you said, we're in the building phase, and you know, it's just a matter of time now before, you know, we've so many guys in the program that were able to host events, get together, and have massive impact on our community, on the people,
it's exciting.
People around. Like,
it's exciting just knowing how many people you can actually help. One, because you understand how to do it because you've done it yourself, and then 2, because you've got a program that has everything that they need to do it.
Yeah.
In terms of the structure, the accountability, and the actual diet and nutrition, diet and training plans.
Yeah.
And the support.
That's it.
And you just know that any guy that comes in, any businessman that comes in, clearly motivated, hardworking, dedicated, follow the plan, which to do, to get the result.
Yeah.
Because losing body fat and building muscle, getting abs, getting a body you're proud of, it's literally just a science in terms of calorie deficit and progressive overload with your training. That's a fact. If you apply those 2 sciences, you will get the results. And that is literally what we do in our program. We help our guys apply those sciences, we move them forwards, we support them, we analyse their progress, make changes if we need to, so we avoid plateaus, keep getting leaner, we get results quick.
Exactly, yeah. I said, like, and it's come back to just doing the right things and the simple things right. Like a lot of people would say it's about doing the simple things, the basic things right, but it's also making sure that you're doing the right things. Like there's a lot of people will try and, they think they're doing the right things, but they're not doing the right things. Like, and that's, as you said, it comes back to those sciences. Like, are you in a calorie deficit? You want to drop body fat. If it comes to building muscle, are you in that surplus? Like, are you progressing your training? Because if you're not progressing your training, you're not going to build muscle, not going to build strength, and you're not going to look like someone who's athletic, look like someone who's in shape. Like, there's no point losing the weight and just being a skinny person. Like, you want to have muscle, you want to look big, you want to look strong because you're a man, and you want people to know that. Do you know what I mean? You are working hard and you are in good shape, because one, you'll be respected so much more. You close much more deals if you know, in business, you know, and you'll have a lot more respect from the people around you. Like, and
that's one huge thing about being in shape is the fact that you get more respect in business. That's an absolute fact. If someone's in shape, other people, other businessmen will look at them and think, he's clearly hardworking, he's committed, he's dedicated, he's disciplined. That commands respect. You do not build a body and look good if you don't work hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's an absolute fact.
Yeah.
I know when I look at other people and they're in shape, I know when I look at other businessmen who are in shape, straight away I think, well, he clearly works hard. He's clearly got something about him. He's clearly disciplined. So I then think, right, in business he's going to be exactly the same.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So I respect him and trust him more.
Yeah, and it is exactly the same. Like the way you show up in your personal life, the way you show up for yourself is the way you show up for your business, and the way you show up for everything else in your life. And it's powerful. Like if you can't run yourself, you're not going to be able to run your business. Like, and someone so I've heard it somewhere as well. Like, do you know what I mean? You got to run yourself as like you're running your business. You know what I mean? Like you keep track of your numbers, keep track of your metrics in business, KPIs in business. It's same for your body. You got to run your body as if it's a business. Like, and that's how you're going to get the best results. Because there's no effing around. There's no making excuses. It's a matter of like, got to hit the numbers, got to get the work in, and it's simple as that.
100%. I say this to guys all the time. When you treat yourself and run yourself like you do your business, you will see your results massively improve. Fact. You know, when you have a business, you know where you are right now. You know where you want to get to. You have systems in place, and then you monitor those systems, and you collect data.
Yeah.
And with that data, then you know, right, is the business going the way I want it to go or not?
Yeah.
And then you make adjustments. It's the exact same thing with your body.
Yeah.
Where am I now? Where do I want to get to? Okay, what systems do I put in place? I.e., training plan, diet plan, habits, sleep. And then you monitor your progress in terms of your calories, your weight, progress pictures. If you're going on the right lines, good. If not, you make adjustments.
Yeah, that's it. Like, and the thing with numbers and the things with like the data doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not losing weight on the scales, then something's not going right, and a lot of people will like blame their metabolism, blame this, blame that. It's not. You've just messed up somewhere, and it's like it kind of goes back to the chessboard equation again from Andrew Tate. Like, if you lose in chess, you've messed up somewhere along the lines.
Yeah.
And like, if you aren't getting in shape after 6 months of working hard, then you've obviously messed up something along the way. And that's why having that coach, having those people who know exactly what you need to do, is going to help you avoid all that heartache and make sure that you are doing the right things and make sure that the data is right. Because it's very easy to let yourself off the hook. But when you have someone beside you, someone around you, having that peer group around you, then they're going to make sure that you're following through and keeping those standards high. You know, that's something I've noticed as well from being on my own a lot. like it can be easy to drop standards, but when you're surrounded by people who have high standards, like you also keep them driving forward and they keep you driving forward. It's not just a matter of them, you're also providing as well, and you're also driving. It's like a community. Everyone drives themselves forward, like, you know, and I think that's super powerful.
Yeah, here's the thing with accountability. Our clients don't need accountability because they're lazy.
Yeah.
They're willing to do the work. It's clearly shown by the success they've achieved in business. The reason they like accountability is because it makes them work harder.
Yeah.
You know, they work harder, they achieve the result faster. Simple.
That's it, and it's also well the accountability. Like we make sure that they're focusing on the right things, not the wrong things. Again, and it is very easy. Like especially when you've no idea what you're doing. Like when I got into business, when I started getting into training, getting into nutrition, like I had no idea what I was doing. That's why I invested in coaches, invested in mentors, and now I know exactly what I need to be doing. But I'm also in a position to be able to help other guys do the same. Yeah. And I've helped hundreds of guys get into the best shape of their lives, and now being part of the Empowered Man program, we're going to help hundreds and thousands of more.
Yeah, it's powerful, just helping people and seeing guys succeed. It's so rewarding, and I'm very grateful that I'm in this situation. Shit things happened to me, I had challenges in life, and then I pivoted and made the most of those situations, and now an online company helping businessmen, guys with the same mentality as me and you and Gaz, who are driven, motivated, want to succeed, look good, feel good. And it's just a case of I've done that by putting in the work and taking opportunities. And the exact same thing if you want to get in shape. You might be in the worst shape of your life right now. Okay, you've got to accept that. You've got to also accept that the results you want to get is your responsibility. Do the work, surround yourself with the right people, raise your standards, and you will get the result. Yeah,
that's it. And like something as well I've just noticed from when you're speaking there is like, it's not until you actually immerse yourself into it, isn't it? And like you realize the power of actually raising your standards. Like if you've never actually been in that environment before, you won't actually realize how powerful it is. Like, and that's why it can be scary to kind of just, you know, take that leap, especially for, we'll say, guys in their 20s who haven't, we'll say, invested in loads of coaches and mentors like I suppose I have and you have, Greg, and other businessmen have. But like, do you know what I mean? If you're in your early stages, you're building your business, do you know what I mean? It's like start immersing yourself into those environments, start surrounding yourself with more people, and you start to realize the power of those communities and being able to raise your standards. And you will find the more people you hang around with, you'll actually automatically raise your standards. You'll be like, Jesus, before I used to operate like this, but now I'm actually operating like this. What changed? Your environment, and it's powerful. Like,
yeah, I think two big things from environment is the fact that, number one, when you're a type of guy that wants to be successful, wants to succeed, and is competitive, when you're around other people that are succeeding and doing well, the first thing you know is that, right, it's possible.
Yeah.
Other people are doing that, and they're just like me. Same situation, same work ethic, same dedication. If they can do it, I can.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, when you're competitive, you see other people doing it, and you're like, right, if they're doing it, I'm doing it.
Exactly.
And that drives you to increase your standards and to work harder.
Yeah.
I've seen that in my own life. You've probably seen it in your life. And I've also seen it with all of our clients.
Yeah.
They join our Facebook group, they join our WhatsApp group, they see what the people are achieving, competitive in nature, and they're driving to achieve the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's it. Like, it's super powerful. Like, I suppose kind of shifting gears a little bit now. I suppose like for you now, like what are, we'll say, kind of non-negotiables now, because these are things that are very powerful for me. And I suppose for you, like what are like 3 to 5 non-negotiables that you kind of live by on a daily, weekly basis, things that you have to do that have moved you forward? And it would be kind of insightful now for guys as well to listen to. And so what are those 3 to 5 non-negotiables for you?
In terms of health and fitness, or
yeah, just generally I suppose health and fitness, and I suppose overall life as well.
I would say one big thing for me is that I've made the gym just an absolute must 4, 5, 6 times a week. Just because, like I said to you at the start of the podcast, I felt so low when I dropped out of university when I was 20, and my mental health was not good at that time. So I'm never ever going to feel like that ever again.
Yeah.
So I will always prioritise the gym because it keeps me in a good place physically, but also mentally. So I've created a massive reason why. So the first thing is that I will always go to the gym without question. I would say another thing is that I'll always eat good food. I don't want to put stuff in my body that's it's just shit quality. If I look at myself like a high performance car, in terms of, you know, would you put shit fuel into like an F1 car and expect the same performance?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the same about body. If you want to look good and feel good, you've got to put the right fuel in your body. And I would say other things is introspection. I like to take time to myself to just think. Allow myself time to think and process and to get excited about stuff.
And what does that process look like for you? Is that journaling? Is that
for
meditating?
me, that would be, it could just be going for a walk. It could be on a morning, just lying in bed, just thinking. It could also be on an evening, just taking myself to a rooftop or to the balcony or to my bedroom and just chilling, just thinking. Journaling has also been really powerful. Getting stuff off my mind. And I would say other stuff that I do is I avoid listening to anything that's negative, the news, reality TV, all that shit. I just don't put it in my brain. Because how is that going to help me improve me as a person and the areas of life that are important to me? It's not. Whereas I can spend that time either working or reading and educating myself and watching stuff that's actually going to benefit me, both as a man and professionally. So I'd say that as well. You know, listening to great stuff, avoiding the shit, always going to the gym, putting good food in my body, and taking time to think and reflect and process.
That's powerful, and those are super vital, super important habits that guys should take on board from as soon as possible. Like, especially every guy in their 20s should be taking those things on board. Like, and there are things I do. Like, gym is a massive priority of mine. Eating good quality food and improving those quality foods now is a priority of mine as well. And as you say, introspection, is that what you said?
Introspection,
and
time to think,
journaling, meditating, just being with yourself really. So they are super powerful. Like, and yeah, man, I suppose we'll leave it there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Sounds good.
I think that's everything that we wanted to talk about.
Awesome stuff. Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah, it's been good.
Let's keep hustling.